Hello everybody, Thomas here, and welcome back to SFF180. And it is Monday, April the 24th already. Time again for the mailbag. Wow, you have a birthday coming up this week. That's crazy. Birthdays, you know, for a certain period of time in your life, you always look forward to them, and then you kind of cross a bit of a threshold there. And a birthday comes along and you think, oh boy, 1 year closer to death. But I'm not going to be all gloom and doom about it, so it's going to be fun. I think I'm going to have a good time this week. But otherwise, we have a decent stack of books to get through, so no real announcements except to say I'm sure most of you have already seen my 9 Fox Gambit review. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that. I have another review, which if it did not go up this morning before this mailbag now, it will definitely be up first thing Tuesday morning. Hopefully it's up now, but if it's not, well, you know when to look for it, okay? So without further ado, let's get into these books. Okay, and the first of these I want to try to go ahead and knock out because it looks like I have a couple of little envelopes here with some random Penguin mass market paperbacks in them. So let's see what we have, shall we? And the first one of these, yeah, this is some pretty neat stuff. First one is D.O.D.O's reprint of Knight's Sorceries by Tanith Lee. This is the 5th and final volume in her very, very dark fantasy series, Tales from the Flat Earth. This is all about demons and demigods and, as it says, sorceries, things that they get up to in the dark. So this is a terrific series. Tanith Lee was very, very good at this kind of dark fantasy. I think this last one came out in something like 87. Would have been when this came out. It's a 5-volume series, and this being book 5, it has now been re-released in its entirety. And it's very good to see. If you have not yet sampled Tanith Lee, now is your chance to do so with some of her best work. So Knight's Sorceries, first volume in this series is called Knight's Master. So look for that if you want to check it out. But anyway, yeah, so I guess this is a May mass market paperback title from D.O.D.O. And up next, another mass market. This is the mass market version of Blood in the Water, another really popular, long-running series. I think this is the 11th volume in the Destroyermen series by Taylor Anderson. The next one, I think, in hardcover, I've already gotten the art for. Really maybe ought to give them a try, you think? But it's certainly been very successful without any help from me. This is, as I said, volume 11. This is one of those, oh no, we have crossed into a parallel Earth kind of scenarios where you have, I guess, this battleship or something like that, and it ends up in this world where there are two races, the Lemurians and the Grick, I believe. And they're at war, and so the humans must pick a side, and apparently they do pick a side, and I guess things get really nasty because there's 11 going on 12 books full of adventures in this series, but now Blood in the Water is in mass market paperback. And then last up for the mass markets, we have volume 227,004 of Jeannie Koch's Alien series. Well, it's not like that, but it's getting up there. It's something like 15. These are like screwball comedy type stories with aliens and some romance and just shenanigans. And I will be perfectly honest with you, I tried reading the first one and it was like, you know, that kind of reaction. Wasn't quite sure the sense of humor was my thing, but apparently it's popular because there are now 15 of them. So Alien Education, I guess, is the newest from D.O.D.O Books in May. And moving on, we have a white envelope which usually denotes a Tor Books title. So let's see. It is, and this is one that I'm kind of eager about. At least I was. I got the email about this. This is a new space opera by Timothy Zahn. Timothy Zahn, very popular proponent of space opera. He's been writing for many, many years. If you're a Star Wars fan and if you've read like all the expanded universe Star Wars novel, you know very well who this guy is. You know, he wrote the Thrawn trilogy and quite a few others. So this is a new space opera, first volume, in something called The Sibyl's War. Comes out May the 2nd, and well, let's see what it's all about. Here we are. Nicole Lee is a 19-year-old woman in Philadelphia with a dead-end life, no family, no money, and a relationship with a criminal named Bungie. Bungie should have been a giveaway, hon, really. That all changes after one of Bungie's deals goes bad. Bungie forces Nicole to drive him to the hospital to kidnap an ER doctor in order to help him recover from his wounds. Before the would-be kidnapper can seal the deal, all three are whisked away by mysterious moth-like humans to a strange room. They are on board a living ship called the Phyrantha, where they must now work as part of the ship's crew. Nicole has a special ability that allows her to communicate with both the ship and the mysterious Mothmen called Wisps. It is not long before Nicole learns that the ship is far vaster than any on the crew had even imagined, and she is soon caught up in a war between factions seeking to seize control of the Phyrantha. Not gonna lie, that synopsis sounds like something that you might try to pull off in a middle grade, but this is a new adult space opera series. Well, maybe the whole far-fetched, it does sound pretty far-fetched, at least in terms of the premise, but maybe that's just, the sell sheet making it sound that way. Willing to give it a shot, because it's Tim's on, but like I said, Pawn comes out May the 2nd. And moving on down the line, we have another tour. Okay, here's one that I have been looking forward to quite a bit, and this one comes out tomorrow from Tor Books in hardcover. Just getting it now, but that's fine. All right, new book by Cory Doctorow. It's called Walkaway. This is his first novel for adults in 8 years. It says it's an optimistic disaster novel in which people are fundamentally good to each other after climate change destroys most of the world, and a handful of cities control much of the wealth. The challenge in the story hinges on the panic that rich people have about the actions of the poor. In a 2013 Locus essay, Cory Doctorow wrote, "As the world divides into the hyper-rich 1%, the richest 100 of whom could end world poverty 4 times over with their personal fortunes, and the vast precariat of people who can't seem to make enough to live or save to carry them through their dotage, is all I can think about. As robots take all the old jobs and the benefits of automation are funneled into fewer and fewer hands, all I can think about is what would happen if only we could play fair." Using natural disasters such as the 1906 earthquake in San Francisco and Hurricane Katrina as examples, let's see, there's a recurring pattern called elite panic, where rich people are convinced that when things break down, the poor people are going to come get them, so the rich preemptively attack. Anyway, with Walkaway, Doctorow explores the optimism of people who are kind to each other in times of adversity, not in spite of it, because of it. Walkaway is not a cozy apocalypse where all of the quote-unquote useless people are killed off, leaving the lucky survivors to pick up the pieces. It's an optimistic disaster novel that explores a future where no one is left behind, where love and care and fellowship are revealed as the underlying fact of humanity, the reason we have survived through the millennia, the nobility that makes our crises tragic to begin with. I must admit, that's optimistic. In Walkaway, 27-year-old Hubert Vernon Rudolph Clayton Irving Wilson Alva Anton Jeff Harley Timothy Curtis Cleveland Cecil Ollie Edmund Eli Wiley Marvin Ellis Nicholas Espinoza, known to his friends as Hubert etc., and his friend Seth, are getting too old to be hanging out at, quote, communist parties, techno raves, and abandoned factories getting high, dancing, and fabricating furniture to give away. But after watching the breakdown of modern society, Hubert etc. really has nowhere left to be, except among the dregs of disaffected youth who party all night and heap scorn on the sheep they see on the morning commute. After falling in with Natalie, an ultra-rich heiress trying to escape the clutches of her repressive father, the three decide to give up fully on formal society and walk away. After all, now that anyone can design and print the basic necessities of life, food, clothing, shelter, from the world's bottomless waste stream, there seems to be little reason to toil within the system. But it's still a dangerous world out there, the empty lands wrecked by climate change, dead cities hollowed out by industrial flight, shadows hiding predators, animal and human alike. Still, when the initial pioneer walkaways flourish, more people join them. So it's like a reverse Gulch kind of thing. But capitalism has no intention of stepping aside for the first days of a better world. Then the walkaways discover the one thing the ultra-rich have never been able to buy: how to beat death. Now it's war, a war to achieve immortality that will turn the world upside down. Well, Cory Doctorow is somebody that I generally look forward to, and this sounds like quite a provocative tale. But anyway, Walkaway comes out tomorrow, the 25th, from Tor Books. Let me know in the comments. And it has this kind of, dust jacket double cover thing where you take the dust jacket off and the cover art looks like that. All right, let's move on, shall we? Here we have one from the lovely folks at Random Penguin. And yes, indeed, very exciting. City of Miracles. This is the finished copy of City of Miracles, the final volume in the Divine Cities trilogy. This is fantasy mixed with the sort of behind the Iron Curtain, Jean le Carré inspired kind of story of, espionage and stuff of that sort. And let's see, this one comes out, City of Miracles, comes out May the 2nd. And it follows on, of course, from City of Stairs and City of Blades. So, a lot of us looking forward to this one, finally out on the 2nd of May. And then next up from Ace Books, we have The End of Magic. This is the new Echo Park Coven sort of urban fantasy novel by Amber Benson about a little coven of modern-day witches and, facing the crises that they face. And of course, Amber Benson if you're a Buffy fan, but she has gone on to have a reasonably successful career writing UF, and this is her newest one. So The End of Magic is a May title from Ace Books. Okay, getting close to the bottom of the stack. Here we have one from what looks to be Saga Press. So let's see. And it's the finished copy of The Berlin Project in hardcover from Saga. This is from Gregory Benford, okay, venerable hard science fiction writer. But here he has written an alternate history, which is not usually, in his lane. So I'm interested to see what he does with this. But it is about, as you might be able to tell if you are kind of scanning the cover, an alternate history in which the Allies are developing an atom bomb to be ready in time for D-Day. And so, well, take that Adolf, as it were. But anyway, yes, so this is available in hardcover from Saga on May the 9th. And it's another Saga. Another Saga Press book. Good. And I am super, super happy to see this, and also just a tiny bit embarrassed, because Stina Light is one of my dearest friends, and I have not yet done my review of Cold Iron, which is the first of these two books in the Malorum Gates. It's a duology, I believe. A Flintlock fantasy, so if you're, like in the Brian McClellan type of thing, except done her way. She's marvelous. This is Blackthorn, the second one, and this comes out August the 8th from Saga. And so I suppose if I don't want to keep mumbling and being embarrassed and making excuses every time I see Stina, I'm going to go ahead and get these two reviewed in short order. But Blackthorn looks very sweet and sexy, as Saga books usually do. From Saga Press, comes out August the 8th. Okay, everybody, only two to go. Second to last one. This is a big, heavy package from HarperCollins, so let's see what we have. Okay, you guys, anybody want to guess? Of course you don't want to guess. Just show us the damn book, Thomas. All right. It's The Rise and Fall of D.O.D.O. This is the new book by Neil Stephenson in collaboration with Nicole Galland. Or Galland, I don't know. Okay, pretty pleased to have this. Let's see. This comes out on June the 13th from William Morrow, Stevenson's usual publisher. And of course, there has already been quite a bit of advanced buzz about this, especially people curious about what the hell is up with this title. But first off, Nicole Galland, who is Stevenson's collaborator on this, is a critically acclaimed writer of historical and contemporary fiction. And so they are teaming up for what they say is a captivating and complex near-future thriller combining history, science, magic, mystery, intrigue, and adventure that questions the very foundations of the modern world. The Rise and Fall of D.O.D.O, or as readers will quickly learn, the Department of Diachronic Operations, starts when Melisande Stokes, an expert in linguistics and languages, is approached by military intelligence operator Tristan Lyons with an incredible top-secret offer that will spark a chain of events that will alter their lives and human history itself. Tristan needs Mel to translate some very old documents which turn out to be earth-shattering. They prove that magic actually existed and was practiced for centuries before the arrival of the scientific revolution, the Age of Enlightenment, and the rise of industrial technology and commerce weakened magic's power and endangered its practitioners until magic stopped working altogether in 1851. Something about the modern world jams, quote-unquote, the frequencies, quote-unquote, used by magic, and it's up to Tristan to find out why. And so the Department of Diachronic Operations, D.O.D.O, gets cracking on its real mission, to develop a device that can bring magic back and send diachronic operatives back in time to keep it alive, and meddle with a little history at the same time. But while Tristan and his expanding operation master the science and build the technology, they overlook the mercurial and treacherous nature of the human heart. All right, then. Okay, once again, comes out June the 13th. I know a lot of you are excited about this one. For those of you who know that, yes, Neil Stephenson is all into tomes, this one is no different than that. It's given my deltoids a workout holding it up like this. But yeah, I have a feeling some of you in the comments will be rather intrigued by this one, won't you? All right, you guys, last one, and it is a big, shiny Black envelope. From who's it from? I do not know what to say. Oh, well, that was a really huge envelope for a very small book, but this is the mass market paperback version of Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. You've probably already seen, I know this has come out a while ago. I have it in hardcover. It's sitting there on my, if you remember my last Babbles video, it's in there in the other room in my 2016 stack of shame, stuff I have to get caught up on. But this paperback version comes out May the 2nd. It's the story of Jason Desson, a brilliant physicist. Desson has settled into a comfortable life in Chicago with his wife, Daniela, and their teenage son, Charlie. And anyway, basically what happens is he is confronted by a hoodlum, and then he's driven away to some remote location and knocked out, and then when he wakes up, he is in a completely different life in another world where like nobody knows who he is, and he's never been married, and his entire life and job history and everything about him is completely different. And so now he has to make sense of that. So anyway, Dark Matter in a trade paperback on May the 2nd from Broadway Books. And that's what I got for this mailbag. And if you ask me, in all honesty, I think it's a hell of a week. All right, good way to kind of lead into the birthday week. I have some pretty nice presents, if I do say so. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Hit those comments. Let me know which of these looks most interesting and exciting to you, what you want to see me prioritize for review. And also, if you enjoyed watching, leave a like, share the video, and sub. If you haven't done so, that's how the channel grows. You can also support SFF180 at my TeePublic store and also at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's army get little perks like watching Mailbag Monday on Sunday afternoon, one day early. All those people, I appreciate their support, just as I appreciate your support simply by watching me and tuning in every week. I really, really do appreciate all of that. And until I see all you guys next time, happy reading.